So welcome to the Lunch and Learn, promoting critical thinking and problem solving. So we're going to dive into a lot of great strategies. Wanda is going to drop some information in the chat so we can all access these slides.
Yes, I will.
So these are your session facilitators. I'm in the middle for absolutely no reason, but I'm Laura Barnes. I'm one of the two Southwestern area DLCs.
And I'm the other Southwest area DLC. I'm Mary Clay Vick. And our fabulous moderator today is our friend
Wanda Hanley.
There we go.
Right here in the chat.
Our contact information is there, so anytime you have a question or concern or anything like that, you're always welcome to reach out to any of the DLCs. But since we are in your area, Deb, we are happy to be your sounding board for anything. So in each of our lunch and learns and all of our professional learning, we like to really kind of anchor ourselves into the North Carolina Digital Learning Standards for students. So the key one that we're really focused on today is computational thinker. So it kind of adds some of that critical thinking lens and problem solving. So what's critical thinking? So we're thinking through the analysis of fact in order to form a judgment. This second little paragraph or sentence rather is the definition of computational thinker as according to North Carolina Digital Learning Standards. So thinking about ways to develop strategies for understanding problems, and then ways to leverage some of the technology tools that we'll kind of walk you through today to develop and test solutions as they're thinking through scenarios.
And today we're going to be highlighting some S.O.S strategies that are found from Discovery Education. We've also added in some digital supports so that you can easily take them and use them in your own instruction, whether you're in elementary, middle, or in high school. We have 10 different S.O.S strategies that we are going to be sharing today. We're not going to go through each individual one. We're going to show a couple and then allow your exploration with the rest. Okay. One thing to be of note, in the right corner of that slide, you'll see like a compass rose. That is going to be available to you throughout the presentation, that when you are diving into the slide deck yourself, to come back to this navigational menu, it will bring you back there. Okay. So our first one that we're going to choose to talk about is Let's Roll. Okay. And each of these S.O.S strategies that we're talking about, the scaffolding, we're providing for you some information about how to learn, what it is, and how to use it. We've got two different formats that we are sharing. On the left, of course, is a video that is coming directly from Discovery Education. And on the right is basically a one-pager, a white page, to describe for you how to do this instructional strategy. And the second slide after that is always going to be a grab and go. In the grab and go, this is where we are providing the digital resources for you to be able to take, use, and make even better. Please share with us how you do that. So in the strategy, it talks about using dice. And instead of that, we wanted to find a way that it could be done digitally. So we've basically created a die in a Google Slide presentation. And then this middle option is creating it into a little short video where a student could just press the play button, play it for a bit, and then press stop. And then that is their question, just the same as the die stopping the roll. Okay. And in case you wanted to change it, we've got a template for you available as well. So instead of the 6 questions that are given. On the right side, you'll see that there is a document, a graphic organizer. And clicking on that, it will take you to where you will see that you can make your own copy. And it puts it into Google Drawing. You'll notice on the left-hand side of the organizer, that there is an embedded video, and that is quick and easy to do. Just make it in like a Google slide, and then you copy and paste it into your Google Drive. As of right now, it doesn't have the option to insert a video into a Google Drive, but you can easily move it over. So you've got a graphic organizer for students to be able to work collaboratively, whether you are using Canvas or Google Classroom. You could assign this to a group, or it could be done independently if you wanted them to do that. I don't know why, but anyway, I would think this would be a better group activity, whether it is done synchronously or asynchronously. So just play the video, and then what about seeds, if that's what your topic is, and then they can ask questions. Well, what about seeds that don't germinate? What happens to those? Or whatever it is. And they could add that to the Google Draw graphic organizer. Are there any questions, Wanda, in the chat that I need to be aware of?
Not so far, but I love the grab and go so that teachers can just have this to go. And I was just dropping that, you know, when you use these protocols in your classroom, it helps create the culture in your classroom as well.
Oh, definitely, definitely. They become more comfortable with them. They know exactly what to expect. When you say, oh, we're going to do let's roll, you could easily change these questions regardless of the topic that you're talking about. Maybe it's something from EL, maybe it's something from math, social studies, science, whatever it may be. And they can easily know that protocol and get to going. So, okay. So yes, Laura's ready to click the compass rose and take back to the navigation menu.
So when I clicked there, I was able to jump back to that navigation. So the next one we want to look at is equations of understanding. So I'll click here and talk through this one. So again, the same process that Mary Clay mentioned. There's a quick video that talks you through it. There's that one-page document that kind of gives you the explanation. And then this is your grab and go. So what's cool about the equations of understanding is I think it can be really used in a wide variety of levels. So this one in particular is one that Mary Clay built that, you know, we're really kind of thinking about maybe first or second grade in their plant and animal units where they're thinking through life cycles, things like that. So this one is really cute how it shows the seed plus soil plus water plus air or sunshine equals the flower. And then you've got the same thing, but maybe there's no water and what it could do. So it kind of lets them visualize the learning that they're doing and really break it down into smaller parts.
And Laura, I like how this could be easily changed for a high school topic, such as chemistry. Putting sodium and chloride together makes salt. Those kinds of
Yeah,
things.
absolutely. And I think the other thing that's cool about this is while of course we can use this virtually, there's also an awesome opportunity to be able to do this in person if you've got magazines or students want to draw, right? And maybe we draw, you know, the three little pigs, one pig, one pig, one pig, one wolf, and then you know you draw the house falling down. So I think that it kind of allows them to break down their understanding into smaller pieces, and it also incorporates some of that math computational thinking. So you know you've got the opportunity to use like does not equal, right? So all of these things you could substitute into something that's a non-example. You also have options to say minus, perhaps these things minus water would equal this water, right? So you're kind of allowing their visual thinker to really develop some of those computational skills as far as that goes.
And of course, for your younger learners, you would probably remove some of those symbols, so it would not be so many options there. Take away the multiplication and the division, of course, but yeah.
And maybe for your older learners, you'd add some even fancier symbols.
Yeah.
And you know what I like as well, when as a teacher, when you design these is you can pull all the images right out of Discovery Ed, but B, they're on the PDF of the S.O.S. I really like how they show the McCrell phases of learning. And for this equations of understanding, it helps students engage, it helps them make sense, and then it helps them practice. So that's one of the things I love about those PDFs is that they had a research group come in and research the phases of learning, and they've associated it with each one.
Exactly, exactly. And if you chose to not, if you've got young learners and you want them to use very simple ways, you could also use emojis potentially. You may, as a teacher, want to check out what the emojis are. I tried to replicate our example with the seed, and I didn't really care for the options for soil. It looked like another emoji that people use for other things. So, but anyway, just double check. But I have seen some very cute emoji stories done with for Charlotte's Web, you know, literature choices with spiders and spider webs and little pigs and stuff like that. So
Breaking down like beginning, middle, end, like you were saying, or breaking down characters or their emotions. Like that's another great one too. You know, how does it feel when this happens to you? And yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to click back to our compass rose again. So from here, we just wanted to show you guys those two just to see kind of the general idea of how the slides work. This is really a resource library to take with you and you can use and manipulate and keep on working with. So all of these icons are clickable and they go right to the buttons that kind of walk you through the strategies and have the samples. And then we'll just talk through the resources. All right, here's our resources. Did you want to talk about those, Mary Clay?
sure. Okay. Of course, first and foremost, we've got the S.O.S. from Discovery Ed, just linking you directly to the article there. And so it's got those resources for you. Also, some strategies to increase critical thinking skills. There's both a blog version and a podcast available of that, so that depending upon what your desired style is for learning more about that, it's both of those are available, as well as 28 critical thinking questions stems for any content in any content area. So those are really great to be able to take the questions and go. And of course, code.org is one that is approved in the digital resource product library and is one that teachers can easily incorporate for coding skills and those kinds of things as another additional resource for helping with critical thinking.
So these are DLC resources that we always make sure we communicate. So our final, I believe final Lunch and Learn, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong on that, but final Lunch and Learn is May 26th, so that's next week. And it'll be about wrapping up, yes, final, great, wrapping up the year, finishing out the year with Google Classroom and Canvas. Our newsletter goes out monthly. We also have a podcast, and we have coming up, I know that we're feeling a little stressed about the coming year. And as we begin to prepare our learners and our staff members, the Canvas 101 course is a great beginning thought process as we're moving into some new learning and the ways that we are being asked to present our learning management systems in the future.
And we have available for everyone the feedback form. So please feel free to click on that slide. It will take you directly to a Google form to help share your ideas about today. Also, it's been dropped in the chat, so you've got a quick link to that as well. But please feel free to reach out to Laura, Wanda, or I, and we are happy to help you with discovery education, S.O.S. strategies, protocols in your classroom, digital support, whatever it is that you need. But additionally, for more information, please check out dlc.wcpss.net.